Welcome to Fake News, the topical quiz show that ought to know better. We're live on Talk Radio, but you can also watch us on Facebook and YouTube right now. First up, joining Andre Walker on Team K Burley, we have broadcaster and author Amy Nickell. And joining Dave Chawner on Team Empty Chair, we have top journalist Dawn Neesom. Let's kick off with round one. This round is called Who's News? Each panellist will pick their favourite story from the papers. 100 points to the best one. Andre, what have you got for us?
Well, this one's from the BBC, but lots of other publications covered it. Emma Watson apparently is anxious and depressed. No, it's not because she appeared in Harry Potter. It's because she's turned 30 and she's single. She's described herself as being self-partnered. Now, let me tell you, I've been self-partnered since the age of around 12 and a half. And it's never left me anxious. In fact, it's been genuinely, Mark, a bit of a release. Because after all, I'm keen on Madam Palm and her 5 lovely daughters.
Good point. Would explain for your bad eyesight, though. Now, how about Amy? What have you got for us?
The front page of The Sun, November the 5th, which is Guy Fawkes' night.
Oh, yes.
Firework in Bum Man.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
Tell us
anonymous.
more.
So he was a man put a firework in his bum. That's it, really.
Standard.
Sounds like an elaborate version of self-partnering, doesn't it?
Well, it'd be more explosive anyway.
A cracking story. Thank you, Amy. Dave, what's caught your eye? I know that you are a media-savvy character.
Well, thank you very much. Well, actually, I've gone from Euronews. Belgian DJ Michael Schack has recreated John Burko's Order, Order, and he's put it into an electro pop video that's been viewed on YouTube over 80,000 times. He uses puppets representing Burko, the Prime Minister, and Jeremy Corbyn, all manically dancing to intense pulsating
And
lights.
it's good because he's covered all of the leaders, which makes it perfect for balance.
It's great.
Which is what we at Talk Radio are all about. Well, for a few weeks, then we can go back to being ourselves again. Now, Dawn, what, as you not only are you news savvy, you are a former news maker, former editor of the iconic Star newspaper.
Indeed, thank you very much, which is why I picked a story from the Daily Mail. This is Cakeism to Milkshake, the language of Brexit. I love this story. This is the printable language of Brexit. Right. This is Collins Dictionary are putting in the language of Brexit into the dictionary. So not only Brexit itself, but we have cakeism, a wish to enjoy 2 desirable but incompatible alternatives, which I think sums up Brexit completely there. But it's Project Fear, proroguing, Remainer and Ramona.
I'm willing to believe you might be right.
I'm going to miss it when Brexit's over because I blame everything.
What?
I really am. I blame everything on it. Like, you know, you're sort of like, why are you late on rent? Brexit, isn't it?
Yeah,
And, you know,
Yeah, there is that. That's true.
Yeah, unwanted tax bill,
Brexit.
parking ticket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why?
A McDonald's hamburger that's not quite hot enough after it's been served.
Brexit.
Self-partnering is all to do with Brexit because basically, because everybody hates each other now, we've all got a self-partner rather than attempt to interact with people. Because of course, as I always say, the big problem with social media is, Zuckerberg connected the world, and the world discovered it hated each other.
Well, I've got to say that first round was a very good example of self-partnering from all of you. It was several minutes of relentless self-partnering, and I'm going to award the prize. Very strong offerings across the board, but I think with the inappropriate use of a firework, it's got to be Amy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well done. Don't try that at home. This round we're very excited about. It's called Fake News. I will read some stories from the papers and our panel will have to choose if they're true or false. Andre and Amy, you're up first. Donald Trump, who it's worth reminding yourself is the president of the United States of America, is considering returning to reality TV with an idea called The Apprentice White House. What do you think? Is it true or false?
So first of all, this is something that he would definitely do, but I suspect that his chief of staff would not let him do it.
No, but he would love to do it. He would start tweeting that he's going to do it, accidentally send it.
You say that when Steve Bannon began briefing that he ate hamburgers in the White House, sat on the bed watching Fox News, he wasn't that happy. He's not as open as he makes out, Donald Trump. Yeah. So I say it's got to be false. It's got to be false, right?
But I don't really understand the premise.
The suggestion, Amy, is some kind of reality show based around life in the White House.
It would be brilliant, though, wouldn't it? After every single US Supreme Court judgment, if they voted off the weakest link and they were replaced in some sort of reality TV show. That would be superb. Who do you want rid of? Justice Kavanaugh. Justice, you are the weakest link. Goodbye.
Well, that's what I've always said. Like, because like with the obviously election coming up, I genuinely think that you, instead of doing TV debates, make it a little bit fun, because we all know that all politicians, no matter who you are, lie. Do like a politician's version of Would I Lie to You?
No, the best thing
Brilliant.
You can
idea.
lie
The
the
problem is,
best.
then what happened? David Mitchell will be
the
swept
best-
apart.
No, the best
And
thing,
Lee Mack and David Mitchell.
the best thing you could do that would change this country for the better is make politicians run for office. So say, as an example, you want to be the Member of Parliament for Solihull. You have to run from Solihull to Parliament, and the first person who makes it onto the seat is the Member of Parliament. That would guarantee youth and vibrancy in a way that we have not done for years.
Many people would run from Solihull, but I don't know if anyone would run to Solihull. That's the only problem
Well,
with that.
you'd have to run from the community in order to get to sit in your seat, and basically be like musical chairs. When the seats are all filled up, that would be the end.
Okay, well, I'll have to press you for an answer, true or false.
Oh, it's got to be Amy. I'll go with whatever you say, but I think it's false.
Okay, I'll go with you.
Okay.
I'm afraid you have fallen at the first hurdle because it is absolutely true.
No.
It was
way.
revealed this week that Donald Trump misses reality TV and is planning his return, whether or not he's still president. So who knew? Dave and Dawn, we have got a cracker for you here. Is it true or false? Katie Price's ex-husband, Alex Reid, do you remember him, the cage fighter? Fine figure of a man, much like yourself, David.
Thanks very much, mate.
He's set to appear in Britain's first ever X-rated panto. It's going to be called, wait for it, Jack and His Giant Big Stork. That's quality work.
It's quality. I'm not sure.
Surely you'd have gone for Pussy in Boots.
That's the sequel.
Very good.
I tell you, I
I'm
didn't
still
realise
processing
we'd
that
be workshopping pantomime names. But we are here to offer an answer,
Well,
true or
panto
false.
is all about dick, isn't it? It's all about dick whipping things.
Yeah, and all that, it's behind you.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't think this is the first ever X-rated one either. I think we've had Snow White and 7-Up before, to be honest with you.
I beg your Snow White, what?
And 7-Up.
See, I don't even understand that.
I
Because
feel
I was
like
raised a
Dawn is.
Catholic.
But I would say, knowing this gentleman, that I think this was true.
Let's take a look at the answer. It is true. Well done. You're absolutely right. Alex will be appearing in the adult-only panto as Daisy the cow. Andre and Amy, I've got a really good one for you here. A man from Iowa says his healthy Fitbit watch turned unhealthy by burning and melting through his arm while he was asleep. Is it true or false?
We've heard about Samsung Galaxies melting, haven't we?
Yeah.
So I just think that the problem is with this story, in America, people make all sorts of vexatious claims on insurance, but I think a Fitbit could melt. And if you were going to wear it permanently, the time it melts would be during the night, surely.
Dave Chawner.
Without being a pedant, isn't the idea of a Fitbit to help you lose weight?
No.
And if it like burns off your hands, then you technically have lost weight.
Definitely. I mean, a hand is that's a good
but
half
you
a
can't-
kilo, isn't it?
It might be a problem if you're
Yeah, but you-
self-partnered, but
Yeah, you can't self-partner. You can't self-partner.
Andre's hands are heavier than
You can't self-partner. One muscle's bigger than the other, let me tell you.
Okay, well, let's go for an answer then. True or false?
You've got to go.
I think it's true.
So do I.
Well done, you are right. It is absolutely true. Well done. So give up that Fitbit. Other brands are available. Dave and Dawn, a greedy landlady in London, was shamed on Twitter this week after tenants found she'd locked the thermostat in a cage to stop them turning up the central heating. True or false?
I'm surprised more dads haven't done this. It's a very dad thing to
I
do,
think it's a
isn't
great
it?
thing to do. I think it's a great idea. I'm going
Are
to
there
try it
any
at home.
other devices that ought to be boxed up? For example, what about the remote control? In my house, I would certainly like that to be less democratic.
How many remote controls have you got? We've got 4. I don't know what any
Yeah,
of them
I've got
actually
about that.
do, but we've got 8.
8.
8.
Yeah, because I've got.
You're running mission control or something.
No, I've got a robot cleaner called Dell. I'm not joking.
No, I know you're not. That's
So
a
you're
weird
actually
thing.
not self-partnered. You're in a
You've
relationship.
got a relationship with
Yeah, I do
Rebel
talk. I do
Dell.
talk to the robot Hoover. You'd be surprised how good mates you become with him.
When he says a robot, it's actually a guy called Keith from Slough that he keeps locked up in the shed.
No, I've got a robot Hoover. I'm
Right,
not joking.
Del, I'm just wondering if this
So what's
robot
best, suck or
Hoover-
blow?
Well, I mean, essentially, I had one of them, so I bought it from China, and then it didn't work, so I deported it back. And then I remembered I'd forgot to feed it, i.e. charge it.
All right, then, what do we think? True or false?
True.
Absolutely
true.
It is absolutely 100% true. Well done. Andre and Amy, a mother care insider, has sparked outrage this week by saying one reason behind their unfortunate financial collapse is that fat kids cost so much more in materials and fabrics, affecting their profits. True or false?
I don't believe this is true because I believe that the cost of making a garment is the cost of stitching it, not the cost of material. Also, and I think it was Dave Chawner that first said this, how can it be that Mothercare has gone bust, Thomas Cook has gone bust, and Woolworths has gone bust, and yet WH Smith's remains robust? Who goes to that shop? I've never been in years.
No. I can never find anything in there. Everything is like never where you expect it to be, and the aisles are always a mess. So I
think it's a sort of eclectic mix. You can buy like sort of mineral water, Nurofen, and wireless headphones.
And clean
And
clean film.
I'll tell you what used to upset me, and I don't know if anybody else found this problem, Sainsbury's shop layout. I remember walking up to the member of staff once saying, "Where'd you keep the Coca-Cola?" And he looked at me as if I was insane and went, "With the CDs." Well, obviously that's where you keep it. I have no idea what magic mushrooms they were taking when they designed that shop.
It's true.
Like, where'd you get a ham sandwich? Oh, well, that'll be with the linen. Well, obviously it is, because it makes perfect sense.
Yes.
An interesting fact about Sainsbury's from this week's news, which links back to my fireworks story.
That's always good. Any opportunity?
I know. Then they didn't sell any fireworks this year.
Yes, that's right.
I'm so for that.
Because they were being used almost as a weapon on the streets of Britain.
I bet you love a firework. I bet you buy the biggest firework you can. Go home, self-partner, set it off.
Well, I'll tell you.
He sets fire to poor people.
I'll tell you what. No, look, I've been shooting pheasants, not peasants. It was a misspelling. It was a misspelling in the article. But look, when you say that people have been using fireworks, I mean, using and abusing them. I mean, a firework should not be treated in that way. It's not acceptable.
I tell you what, I've been shooting pheasants has got to be euphemism of the week here on Fake News.
Like that.
Ever since I've been self-partnering.
Correct. And on that rather intimate note, I will ask you true or false.
I can't remember what it was
False.
now. Oh, fat kids.
Fat kids, false.
Yeah, false.
Fat kids, false.
Because Evans is booming.
It's false indeed. And we will mourn the loss of Mothercare. I always found it a bit of a guilty pleasure looking at overpriced prams without even having kids. Dave and Dawn, Netflix are going to add a skip Donald Trump jokes button for those tired of hearing the president mocked constantly. True or false?
I don't believe people can get bored of it.
It's the best thing ever. I mean, he's fascinating. I mean, Donald Trump's Twitter feed is the best thing that you can ever listen to or watch or do anything with, including clean film.
But is it hard to do jokes about Donald Trump because he is so hilarious in his own right?
It's hard to be original about Donald Trump.
Yeah.
That's the problem. But you know what? Like I bore everything that he stands for. But then, do you remember when John Major was in power?
Yeah,
it wasn't really that funny, was it?
Well, it was amazing. Spitting Image was great whilst Thatcher was in power.
Yes.
And then Major got in and Spitting Image became rubbish.
Yeah.
You're actually lambasting him as a person because no one... Do you know any of his policies?
Not really.
No. People are talking about his tiny hands, his hair, his kind of skin colour. I mean, it's ironic, but no one actually knows any of his policies. So actually, you just create a pantomime villain.
I think in America it's different though, because I think what we get, it's a little bit like the sitcoms. American sitcoms, right, we think are amazing because we get the good ones, right?
Yeah, true.
But I think if you lived in America, it's just 24/7 Trump and Trump jokes.
Yes.
And I wonder whether they get, for us, it's filtered a little bit for us.
If you think about it, many world leaders have started fashion crazes. One of the most popular haircuts in South Korea is a Kim Jong-un, which I also call a Simon Cowell.
Absolutely right.
Donald Trump is a little bit like Mr. Blobby had a love child with Bobby Charlton, isn't he? You know what I mean? It's got that kind of...
Definitely.
Yeah.
I'll have
Very
that. And by the way, and if that's not a TV show waiting to be made, nothing is.
I bet you Channel 4 are on it right now.
All right, so what do we think? Okay, so what do we think? A Donald Trump switch-off button for Netflix, true or false?
I personally don't think, I really don't think it can be A, done, and
how
B,
would you do it?
no.
I'd say false.
I say fake news, Mark.
Oh, well, I'm afraid it's a double bluff because it's true. Okay, well done, panel. Fantastic work. Time is up, which means the scores are as follows. Team K Burley have 27 points, while Team Empty Chair haven't got any points yet at all because we're still waiting for them to turn up. Time for a quick break. They need tea and I need a full makeover. See you in 3. Now, welcome back to Fake News, the topical quiz show that lasts 10 times longer than other shows. I continue to be Mark Dolan and still here being reassuringly out of touch are Andre Walker, Amy Nickell, Dave Chawner and Dawn Neesom. We're live on Talk Radio, lovely to have your company, but you can also watch us on Facebook and YouTube right now. Okay, our next round is Headline Deadline. Big stories for the news this week, and all our panel have to do is guess the missing word. Fingers on buzzers, good luck everyone. Pop legend George Michael is going head-to-head with who for this year's Christmas number one? Amy?
Firework Up Bum Man.
Well, do you know what? I would buy that record. But a lot of screaming, not much singing, but not the right answer. Dave?
I reckon John Lewis is going to bring out Christmas number one. They've already got the adverts. I
It's
reckon they're going to start
true.
like doing music and stuff, and it will be someone really John Lewisy. It'll be like Nicholas Parsons.
Oh, yes. Oh, I can't say a bad word about our Nicholas Parsons. Dawn?
Chris Kamara?
Chris Kamara is the right answer. Well
I'm
done.
sorry. I know. Come on.
Pop legend George Michael is going to head-to-head with footballer Chris Kamara for number one, and Chris hopes that his single "Here's to Christmas" will beat George in the festive charts.
He's got faith.
Isn't he just? Nicely done.
Sorry.
That's why we pay the big bucks. Party-loving Brits say, where is the world's newest booze destination? Dawn, any ideas?
I think the UK, because we are all drinking 108 bottles a week. Sorry, a year.
Life.
We are the biggest drinkers in the world, evidently. So why not stay here and party?
108 bottles is lunch for me.
Well, exactly. And
I
that's
think-
a year, Andre.
I think the new booze destination has got to be Pyongyang. Right, you know, you can get some good quality beers over there. The prices are relatively cheap once you get there.
Ice wine.
And if you don't cause any trouble, you will not be beaten to death and then return to your parents.
It's the right answer. Yes, indeed. Party-loving Brits say North Korea is the world's newest booze destination. A UK firm is planning to offer party animal trips to Pyongyang from March. And actually, what's perfect about it, those undesirables will go to North Korea, get drunk and never come back. It's a win-win, isn't it?
That's
You
brilliant.
know those embarrassing Brits that go on holiday and
Yeah.
they make TV documentaries
They're
about
all
them?
called Dwayne.
Right, and they just stay there.
Yeah.
By the way, I thought I was being funny. I cannot believe that's actually the answer. What lunatic is going to go to Pyongyang on a booze cruise?
I can't even
that is a
pronounce
bad
it.
idea.
According to a new report, expats say they miss what the most?
Jubblies on page 3.
Ooh, well, by the way, I'm going to give you a point for the expression jubbly.
Yeah,
Thank
that's
you.
great.
That's quality work.
Well, I couldn't
Great.
say.
If there's time, Dave Chawner might show us his jubblies later.
No.
If you're lucky.
Yeah, well, Christmas is coming,
They
so
used to call me Burger Nips.
why is that?
Got really big nipples.
Loads of boys get called that.
Really?
I know 2 boys that have
Can
been
I
called
just
that.
say that you are wasted on the radio?
A lot. Wow. I'm just
I
wasted.
still had the newspaper, you'd be on page 3 straight
Oh,
away.
bless
yes.
you. See, that's real feminism.
Yeah,
Big nipples.
exactly. Big
Big
nipples.
nipple Chawner.
Okay, well,
I like men with big nipples because you can trust them.
any other suggestions?
Tea?
T, let's take a look at the right answer. No, Marmite. Yes, indeed. A new report says expats will say that they miss Marmite the most. Also on the list were chocolate. Tea was on the list. Next up, theatre goers flee as what comes down in the West End? Amy.
The curtain.
Oh, well, that's very poetic, but not the right answer. Andre.
Underwear of the trashy people that get drunk there every weekend.
What theatre
Did you go see
going
Magic
to,
Mike?
Andre?
Yeah, I did. Well, I went to see Alex Reid in
Oh,
his new
yeah.
pantomime.
No, David?
I want to make a West End musical that is called Les Miserables. It's all about middle class people just getting by.
That's not a bad
I also
shout.
want to make another musical called Puss in Boots. And it's just about a cat getting lost in a high street chemist. I've got loads
Do you know
of these.
something?
I could go on for hours.
I do feel that we could talk quite animatedly about Puss in Boots, but something tells me it's a bad idea. Let's see what the right answer is.
Shall I just answer the question?
Go for it.
Ceiling?
Ceiling is the right answer.
Well
done.
Well done, Dawn.
And the
Yes,
responsible
indeed.
grown up.
Theatre goers flee as a ceiling comes down in the West End. It collapsed on Wednesday during a performance of Death of a Salesman, about the most exciting thing to happen in that play. Okay, next up, forget London. Where is the true cultural capital of the UK? David.
Dagenham.
Dagenham in
Lots of
Essex.
culture, yeah.
East Kilbride, a pub called the Dragon and Fighting Man, where you can drink a special brew for £1.50 a can.
Oh, well, I tell you, it's a long answer, but not the right answer.
It'd be amazing if it was.
Amy, any guesses? Where do you find rocks the house culturally in this country? You're very cultural. You're a published author, of course.
Carluccio's.
Just any Carluccio's, basically, or a big Pizza Express.
Carluccio's big meringues.
Oh, they are good, aren't
Yeah.
they? They are. It's a cultural experience. I'm going to give you half a point just for
Thank
reminding
you.
me about the existence of Carluccio's meringues, which have got a little bit of cocoa powder just sort of blended into them, haven't they?
Inexplicably large, just like your nipples.
There you go. Yes, David.
Can I say Yakult is the cultural capital of Britain? Because they're always banging on about how it has cultures
It's
in it.
true, and you are a vegan. There's a lot of, a lot of
God, Yakult. Forgot about
hormones
that.
coursing through your veins. Dawn?
Should we try Glasgow?
Glasgow is the right answer. Well done. Yes, indeed. Okay, folks, that's it. Time is up. All good things must come to an end. With that devilishly dysfunctional D-list diatribe, here are the final scores. It's a draw. Yes, indeed. And that pleases no one. We basically have achieved a hung parliament on fake news. Team K Burley and Team Empty Seat have both won 527 points. And there's only one way to pick a winner. And it's a quick game of Dolan's Debate. Yes, you could cut the tension with a knife. It's Dolan's Debate. I'm going to pick a divisive topic. Andre and Dave will argue both sides. I'll pick one winner, and then we'll all go home and contemplate what we're doing with our lives. So if you're ready, this week's question is as follows. Should Donald Trump get a second term as President of the United States? Andre, over to you.
Let me tell you, Donald Trump should get a second term as President of the United States because the man is a genius. After all, he named his daughter Tiffany Trump after a shop in the Trump Tower. Now, that worked for Paris Hilton, so there's no harm in doing that. Ultimately, this guy is the world's favourite sore winner. Right, not a sore loser, sore winner. And also, he's invented his own new ethnic minority, being orange. And by the way, why does he wear sunscreen? Because he doesn't want to peel. There we go.
Very good. And we will have no prejudice against the orange people. Well said, Andre. We're an equal opportunities employer here at Fake News. David, hard act to follow, but if anyone can, it's got to be you.
Well, I do think on the orange thing, I always thought Trump's campaign should never have been Make America Great Again. I always think it should be the future's bright, the future's orange. But
Yes, quality.
I also don't think he's a very good ambassador at all because not a lot of people know this, but between 2001 and 2009, Trump was actually part of the Democrat Party.
What?
And then he switched to the Republican Party, and we would never do that in the UK. You would never have MPs defecting. Chuka Umunna, Luciana Berger, Anna Subi, they would never do that. He is not a good ambassador, he is not a good president, and he is not a good mascot.
Well, can I say to you, he's got more hot air in him than the Donald Trump blimp. And also, why is Donald Trump going to be re-elected? Because let me tell you, a guy that orange will never run out of juice. That's all I've got to say.
Okay, well, I'm relieved to say that we're safe by the clock. We're out of time. And the winner of this week's show by a whisker, by a very cigarette paper, is... It's Dave Chawner! Yes, indeed. Thanks for watching and listening. We'll be back next Saturday at 10 with more fake news.